Hi guys, it's Daniel. Hope you're okay. So, this is my third week working from home, I think, and it's been interesting. It's been a really introspective time for many people, and during this time, I've done a lot of soul searching, thinking in general. And one of the things that's been really drawing my attention, especially more recently, is my need to become a bit more spiritual and just reconnect with myself as opposed to looking externally for a lot of answers. And by externally, I don't mean in the mainstream news or in the commercial sector, but instead just activating my intuition and trying to look at things objectively and see through any perceived deception, fear mongering, and the ability to just think critically about everything that is coming into my actual psyche, because I'm not too sure if you've ever been told something by somebody where you feel that someone is innately lying to you, and it's really difficult to determine how that person's lying. But I think everybody has that feeling, that gut feeling, where you think something that I'm hearing about this situation doesn't quite resonate or add up. And in honesty, that's how I've been feeling about a lot of these commercial situations or the situation that's happening across the globe right now. And I feel it's very difficult to have conversations with people about this because everyone, from my perspective, is operating from their own sphere of consciousness. Well, I mean, that's obviously the case. Um, but what I mean is, some people are really being quite open to the fact that, there are lots of different changes happening and adapting accordingly. And I feel like I'm definitely in that category. And then equally, there are a lot of people who are quite fearful of the changes that are coming. Everyone's really glued to the news. Everyone's really, really getting very engrossed in what they think is happening. And, you see the death tolls rising around the world, and a lot of people are becoming scared. And I've spoken before about what I feel the notion of fear does to a person. And I think it really does lower our vibration. And by vibration, I mean, I personally believe that I am a spiritual being having a human experience. And with that comes the notion or the idea that the life that I'm living right now is a very temporary one, albeit that, many years go by. Once I die, I firmly believe that I will go somewhere else, because to me, energy never dies, it's just transmuted into something else. So if I think about myself and my body as being a vehicle for a living soul that has inhibited this body and is being expressed through me as the avatar of, the soul, then when I think of it like that, I don't really worry about death. I don't really think about the dire consequences. And with that, I'm able to look at things more objectively, because what I've realized is that it's that separation from the fear of death and actually being open to embrace the changes that come through life that grant you the freedom to be able to use your discernment to say, I don't think this situation is really something to really worry about. And I know that probably sounds very irresponsible. Maybe it is. I've got lots of different family members that have expressed their own interest to me and said, that they think I'm being irresponsible for even going for my daily routines in terms of the exercise, visiting vulnerable family members. But the way I see it is, I would feel very, very, I'd feel bad, and I'd feel like I'm doing myself and other people a disservice if I were to completely succumb to the wave of fear that has completely engulfed the planet. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be afraid, but excuse me, equally, I think it's my responsibility to look after my own mental health, my own self interest. And, I believe that human beings have a sovereign right to dictate and determine how they choose to live their lives. And that is the notion of having free will. We all have it. We all work around each other's free will. And that's the reason why we have laws. It's the reason why we don't just go out and do what we want, because if we did that, we'd soon fall into anarchy. So, hopefully we can rely on politics to uphold that system. But equally, as I've gotten older and the more I've learned about different things in terms of secret societies, um, lots of different things that go on behind the scenes per se, it's not that I don't trust governments, but at the same time, I believe that human beings are always going to be human beings, and people have their own intentions, they have their own desires. And if your intentions are in conflict with somebody else's, then if that person is in a position of power, the only difference that stops them from doing what they want to do versus you doing what you want to do is essentially the stroke of a pen when it comes to changing a legislation or enforcing a law that means you can't leave your house and you now have to adhere to lots of strict rules. And yeah, it's just something I find really crazy, because not only is it a very swift, fast moving thing that has taken over the globe, but there are so many people that are very, very compliant with that. And again, nothing wrong with following laws and following order, but I feel that in order to have the ability to think critically and to actually look outside of what we're being told, I mean, we do have to start using our intuition, because many, many years ago, if we didn't have access to the news or newspapers, we wouldn't even have half the information we have now. So the way that information is being used to potentially restrict us is something that I'm quite mindful of, because again, having that sovereign mentality and having that ability to discern between what I perceive to be a lie versus the truth, it just means that I'm always forced to ask those questions. And I think that until we keep asking questions, until we start really, really thinking deeply about what it is that doesn't resonate with us, then we'll always kind of be led and be susceptible to anything we're told. So, yeah, anyway, sorry, that's just a random rant that came from the gut. If it resonates, please let me know. If this makes sense, I mean, it sounds quite ambiguous, sorry, but it's coming from a good place, and I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm in this situation just like everybody else. But I guess what I'm trying to leave with is try not to let fear be the forefront of your thinking. Always lead with love, go from a heart-centered space, and yeah, just remember that this life is essentially just one big game. We're all going to leave in the same way. We all have to die sometime. So why not choose to live in love? Okay, that's it. No more. Speak soon. Take care. Goodbye.